All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here and being patient with us this morning. I want to get started as always with where we are with our crime numbers in the city. As of this morning, homicides are down 23% from last year. Non-fatal shootings are down 34%. Carjackings are down 14%. Auto thefts are down 46%. Total and violent crime is down 8%, and total property crime is down 19%. As you all know, this is, of course, on top of the historic reductions that we had last year. And I will always stand here and say that we will acknowledge this progress, but we don't celebrate them as a victory, only as acknowledgement of what we can do and why we must go further. I also want to continue to lift up the partnership that goes into that. We know I laid out our ambitious and very comprehensive violence reduction strategy years ago, but everybody from our police officers, our violence intervention workers, our community members, our partners in the State's Attorney's Office, the U.S. State's Attorney's Office, all our federal law enforcement agencies, but most importantly, the residents of Baltimore have been working in partnership to produce these numbers. All of it matters. Every single part and every single person in that infrastructure matters, and it's how we will continue to reduce violence in Baltimore moving forward. I also want to send my condolences out to our friends in Baltimore County after that tragic incident that they had last night. I was able to speak with the county executive, and as always, here to offer any support that we can. One of the important components is expanding the successful approaches from our comprehensive violence prevention plan where we can. And yesterday, led by Monsi stood alongside city schools and many of my federal elected officials, Council President Cohen, and a number of community-based organizations to announce expansion of our school-based violence intervention program at 4 schools across the city. I was unable to be there. As you can all tell, I am still sick and recovering, but I want to lift up that if you missed that, I encourage you to go and listen to yesterday's press conference and hear the incredible work that this administration, alongside our partners, is doing to help ensure that our young people are safe and receive the support they need in school to handle conflicts before they raise to the level of violence. I bring it up to point you to the fact that the work, again, is not over. We will continue to look for ways to expand, improve, and adjust how we are producing and increasing public safety in the city of Baltimore. This week, we saw not just what happened in Towson, but a school shooting in Wisconsin, and we know these instances happen far too frequently. That lesson I hope that we're all able to take is that we must do everything possible to prevent these incidents. Now, I want to quickly jump on 2 items before we jump into questions. I want to thank my colleagues for the strong discussion about the introduction of the order rate increases that are now before the board. I echo what I already said about this when we made this announcement last week. We know how difficult these increases are to face. We know the impact that we will have on our residents, and will continue our programs that we have to support our most vulnerable residents. And we will continue to do everything, like you heard, of making stronger efforts to collect outstanding bills and navigate the impacts of this together. And finally, changing gears, I want to extend my sincere gratitude to the best congressional delegation the mayor has in these United States of America, and the best governor that we have in these United States of America, Governor Moore. I frequently talk about how strong Senator Cardin, Senator Van Hollen, Senator Cardin, even in his waning days, Congressman Mfume, and all of our Maryland Democrats are representing us on Capitol Hill, and we're blessed with the best delegation in the country. When you can see that they've been able to get the Key Bridge funding in to that legislation, we know that when we have Senator-elect Alsobrooks join that team, and soon to be Congressman Johnny Olszewski Jr., we will have new members to make the team even stronger. In the last days of Senator Cardin's tenure, they proved again that they are the best by securing this funding, and we just push and hope that Congress passes this so that we can move forward as a city, as a state, and really as a country with the impact that the bridge and the port has on the United States. And with that, I will go to questions.
Start with the back.
Mayor, you had mentioned during the Board of Estimates meeting that it was hard to foresee some of these issues that have come up with the water rates. But the city's consolidated annual financial statement for fiscal year 25 projected that we were going to need at least an 8% increase in sewer. So why are you doing this now mid-fiscal year? Why didn't it come up sooner? And did it have anything to do with the timing of the election?
Oh, I will answer that part and say no. It had nothing absolutely to do with the election. The stuff that we've laid out, Emily, when you think about the costs, when you talk about the chemicals and obviously inflation, which is impacting everybody, all of us at home as we're buying everything from bread to milk, we know that this is what's driving us, and I'll let the director go further.
Good morning, everyone. So to answer your questions, we had the 3% for the past 3 years, which is great while it lasted. However, looking at the amount of funding that we have and going back to the reserve to use some of the reserve that we had, so we understand that at this point, something needed to be done in order to be the health and safety of our utility be well.
In fact, Emily, I would just say that to the latter part of your question, one of my first questions to the director and his team is, why didn't you tell me about this sooner? As I said at the BOE today, I asked, could we have done this in a different way, smaller over time? Because the election wouldn't have the impact on that for me. What needs to be done no matter the time.
Jump to the sun.
Carson Swick with Baltimore Sun.
Sorry, sir. You're welcome. I didn't hear your name.
Carson,
Carson, welcome.
thanks for having me. What is the status of the search for the new city health commissioner, and when can we expect to have one full-time?
Very soon. We know that I think I talked about this last week. We put a group together, including of former health commissioners like Dr. Josh Sharfstein and some of the experts, and we've received a lot of great applications. They will be going through those, weeding those out, and sending the best of the best to me. I will be interviewing and making a final decision as we move into the new year.
WBAO Radio.
Mayor Scott.
Yes, sir. I'm all right.
Hope you feel better. I have kids the same age with
You know the pain. If they get sick, you get sick.
Senate President Bill Ferguson mentioned yesterday how you and I talked about the red line before. Even at the state, they don't have the money to fund it. Any reaction to his comments there?
Well, I think that, listen, and this is something that I've spoken with the Senate President for, we know, especially with their fiscal outlook and also with the changing administration in D.C., that has become a lot harder to do. And I think that we have to just commit ourselves to working with our partners in the state to make sure that all transportation funding for MTA, in particular here in Baltimore, and things like highway user revenue, that we're able to figure out long-term solutions so that we can build the transportation system and infrastructure that we need in the city. And I know my good friend, the Senate President, is willing to do that and is going to be leading on that in his role, and we'll be here in Baltimore advocating and supporting any way that we can.
Jump to WJT in the back.
Senior,
Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
how are you, sir?
Just fine, thank you. Would you comment on Governor Wes Moore's announcement of over $50 million in awards for vacants and reinvestment initiative and how it will help Baltimore?
I am overjoyed when you see this is the governor again showing his commitment to the shared vision and plan that we have around vacants and allowing not just the housing department, but also community organizations and groups to accelerate their work on dealing with vacants. We're just very happy and blessed and thank him deeply.
Boxer and any other back to the banner.
At the start of the BOE meeting, this was Council President Cohen's first meeting. He mentioned that he's going to operate as though the council is an co-equal branch of government. Any response to that statement? Is this shots fired at the administration?
No, I don't think that this shots fired at all. I think what the council president is saying is that he wants to work to make sure that the council is looked at in a more professional manner, and that they're treated as such. So I don't see it as shots fired. I think we all know what the city charter and how the city charter operates, and making sure that their legislative responsibilities and oversight responsibilities are respected, and that my executive responsibilities are respected, and we'll move forward. I don't take it as shots fired at all.
Yeah, the Baltimore ICE director telling C4 this morning he's going to be meeting with you. What are you hoping to accomplish with that meeting?
Well, listen, when and if that meeting gets scheduled, I meet with all of our federal partners when they ask. It's just about hearing what kind of partnerships and things that we can have happen. So we're always open to that.
We had a host ask what New Year's resolutions were this past Saturday. The mayor, I don't know if I'm going to see you before. Do you have a New Year's resolution?
I always have a New Year's resolution. One I keep every year, and that's to be better than I was the year before. But I guess my New Year's resolution this year is I'm now going to have 2 under 2 in my household, is to grow even more patient, because I know I'm going to need it.
Any other questions?
Thank you, everybody.